A baby delivered after her mother was shot and killed dies days after birth. And a bus driver in Italy hijacks a school bus with more than 50 people on board before setting it on fire. And officials here in the mountains say they are seeing a large increase in the number of wildfires.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. I'm Taylor Upchurch today. Today is Thursday, March 21st. Let's check in with Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast this morning. Brandon, you said it might be a little disappointing out there today.
It might, and for some folks, and it's still mild this morning. Temperatures are not going to climb a whole lot as we head deeper to the day. Let's take a look at the Buffalo Mountain camera here in Perry County this morning. Just cloudy for now, but we are seeing a little bit more rain on Doppler. Had to tweak the settings a little bit so we could see some more of that moisture coming into play. A lot of this may not be reaching the ground, but I'm sure some showers are out there falling somewhere this morning. 40 to 49. That's your basically, or actually 48 now. That's the range on temperatures, and your heating forecast for the next couple of days could be a little chilly, and then we start to get into the cooler air or the warmer air, which will mean the cooler temperatures on the thermostat there toward the end of the week and going into the weekend. I'll have the rest of the forecast coming up here in just a few minutes. Taylor?
Thank you, Brandon. A shooting in southern Kentucky has claimed a second life. A young mother delivered a baby shortly before she died and after she was the victim of a shooting outside a Whitley County home. Police have not said if Jerry Johnson's death was the result of a crime, but officials say the death of her 4-day-old daughter is the result of a crime. WYMT's Phil Pendleton explains in what police say is a complex and bizarre investigation.
This home at the end of Steel Hollow Road in rural Whitley County is where 26-year-old Jerry Johnson was shot. Now, she died Saturday night, but not before she delivered a baby girl. That baby died last night. Its death is listed as a homicide. Kentucky State Police in London say the manner of Jerry Johnson's death is still under investigation, and whether it was a murder, an accident, or something else is not known yet. Johnson died after 6 Saturday night after police say she was shot outside her boyfriend's home on Steel Hollow Road in the Rockholds community near Corbin. They say that boyfriend then drove Johnson to the hospital where doctors were able to deliver a baby girl before her mother died. She was named Amelia, and she died Tuesday from a condition the coroner describes as the baby receiving a lack of oxygen and blood to the brain. And again, just to reiterate, although that the baby girl's manner of death is listed as a homicide, her mother's death is still listed as being under investigation by Kentucky State Police. In Whitley County, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
Crowley Funeral Home in Williamsburg is handling arrangements for both Jerry Johnson and her daughter, Amelia. And firefighters and other first responders recently honored 911 dispatcher Grant Levi Grubbs, who died following a crash last week in Perry County. His funeral was held yesterday at the Forum. Here in Hazard, Jakes Branch and Hazard Fire Departments honored Grubbs by raising an American flag from their trucks as the procession drove by. Grubbs worked as a dispatcher for Perry County 911. He was buried in Breathitt County. Grubbs was only 43 years old. And police in Milan have arrested a school bus driver who hijacked the vehicle while it was carrying 51 students and set it on fire. The driver made teachers on board the bus tie up kids with cable lines. None of the children were hurt after police arrived and broke down the back windows to evacuate the students. The suspect is expected to be charged with kidnapping, resisting arrest, and arson. Meanwhile, crews finally extinguished the flames at a Texas chemical plant Wednesday morning after the fire burned there for more than 3 days. It's still unclear what started the fire, but it started in a single tank and spread to several others. Both state and facility officials said there was nothing toxic in the smoke. The tanks held chemicals used to make gasoline. And although we have already seen a lot of rain across the mountains in 2019, fire season is here, and officials say the number of reports of local wildfires is quickly climbing. Wednesday evening, firefighters say this Perry County home likely caught fire because of a nearby brush fire. Officials with the Kentucky Division of Forestry say they have already responded to more than 100 forest or brush fires this month alone. They say with the current conditions, higher temperatures, low humidity, wind, and lack of rain, they expect the trend to continue.
This past 10 days have been pretty dry. We're starting to see an increase in fire activity. We're on our 10th day in a row here of fires in the area. Anywhere from 3 to 6 fires a day, averaging around 2 acres in size.
There is currently a burn ban in place from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And officials with the Kentucky Division of Forestry say just about all the fires they see this time of year are man-made. And Cumberland Gap National Park rangers in Middlesboro are trying to prevent those forest fires from happening by starting them themselves through controlled, prescribed burns. WYMT's Hannah Reynolds talks to rangers about the importance of doing this in their park.
Cumberland Gap National Park is located next to several cities.
Middlesboro, Kentucky, Harrogate, Tennessee, Cumberland Gap, Tennessee.
And rangers say part of their job is to protect the urban interface. One of those tools is prescribed burns.
If there were ever a wildland fire, that these fires would not spread onto the adjacent private property of citizens.
It just makes it easier for us to actually stop it in a lot more safer and controlled manner.
With record rainfall last year and higher than average this year, more vegetation is growing, increasing potential for forest fires, making the burns necessary. And the local people and houses are not the only thing the controlled burns benefit.
It also, it helps generate new growth, exotic plants that's in here that we don't want. It helps get rid of those.
And if you ask Ranger Carol Borneman, the burns are just as beautiful and significant as the forest life they're protecting itself.
At the end, it's this beautiful mosaic. Areas will burn, other areas won't have burned. And this is how fire moves in its natural environment.
Keeping Cumberland Gap National Park lively and safe for everyone. In Middlesboro, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
The controlled burns are expected to last through this morning, which could cause some delays for those traveling through the area. And the state of California is now taking a new approach to preventing wildfires, including calling in National Guard troops for help. Around 110 troops will go through more than a week of training starting next month. Teams will travel around the state working on forest management projects to clear brush and trees that often fuel these fires.
Chainsaw training, hand tools, the formation of what a hand crew looks like on the ground, education on exactly what we're doing and the reason we're doing it, and then also safety gear, our what we call our personal protective equipment.
Governor Gavin Newsom started pulling troops from California's southern border last month to work on other missions like wildfire prevention. And crews from several fire departments fought a brush fire yesterday afternoon along US 23 in Boyd County. They say it appears to have started from someone throwing a cigarette outside a car window. Smoke was visible for miles from 23 and Interstate 64. All lanes of the busy highway are open at this time. No homes or personal property was damaged. And right now, the fight continues against 2 abortion laws passed by lawmakers this legislative session. Both of those bills have also been signed into law by the governor. But the ACLU claims they are unconstitutional. One of the bills is temporarily blocked by a judge. Senate Bill 9, known as the Fatal Heartbeat Bill, bans abortions once a heartbeat is detected, was signed into law back on March 15th. House Bill 5 was signed by Governor Bevin and has not been blocked yet. In Letcher County, a group of women are making history, not by the sheer amount of trash they are able to clean up, but by the circumstances surrounding why they are cleaning it up. WYMT's Connor James explains.
Second chances are not always promised, but along this little highway in Letcher County, you're about to watch one unfold.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
Margaret Harris is spending time behind bars.
Yeah, Yeah.
for drug offenses.
I mean, when you're locked up and you get freedom like this, there's nothing like it.
Well, she's not literally behind bars today.
Oh, God, it's a great feeling.
She's out with a few other women.
A lot of garbage.
Cleaning the county.
I pick up garbage every day. No problem with it.
I mean, it's a good feeling.
She's not alone.
And it makes you feel good. They were really appreciative of what we've been doing.
Rose Newsome is probably a familiar name.
Yes.
She and her boyfriend at the time were in a high-speed chase back in 2017.
And once you ruin your name, it takes a lot to build it back up, for people to trust you again.
This is that second chance to build back up.
Yes.
By, well, picking up.
They're chomping at the bits to just get out and work.
This group of 4 women are making county history. This is the first women's group to do work release here.
And having conversation with them instead of just laying in the jail, many of them had a desire to come out and work.
Jailer Bert Sloan is hoping to clean the county.
It's a big endeavor, but with the ladies that I have working, I think they're going to knock it out pretty quick.
And it's the second chance.
Yes, it's showing people that we are something besides felons.
That's giving these women a chance to prove something. In Letcher County, Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
In about a month, they've had women's work release. The ladies have already picked up more than 520 bags of trash. And many law enforcement agencies use tasers. But now there is a new electrical weapon on the market, and the Martin County Sheriff's Office just received 8 of them. After cutbacks and layoffs, Aaron Blevins is the only paid deputy. Compliant Technologies specializes in this type of enforcement, and the company heard about the department's hardships and donated around $7,500 worth of new equipment.
It's definitely different, and it's something that I believe will grow, and we'll see it a lot more, especially in corrections, in a jail facility and out here on the street, as law enforcement.
The gloves give off 380 volts of conducted electricity. The department also received the E-band restrictor, which is a remote-controlled electrical weapon that is good for transports or courtroom proceedings. That device can be worn around the thigh. And mining regulators say they will receive $5.6 million this year to reclaim abandoned coal mines. The money will go to the Virginia Department of Mines, Minerals, and Energy's Abandoned Mine Land Program. The AML program was created following the passing of the Surface Mining and Control Act in 1977. The program is funded by fees paid by coal companies based on the amount of coal they mine. Coming up, we take you to Hollywood and beyond for the latest entertainment news.
Grab the rain gear on your way out the door this morning. If you don't need it yet, you will soon. I'll have the latest in about 3 minutes.